Hey everybody, welcome to another episode in the Lens Wizard Photoshop series for beginning photographers. So today we're going to talk about Adobe Stock, and I'm just going to give you an overview of how I use Adobe Stock. I use it mostly for elements. Today I'm searching for a gun to replace this plastic toy gun that we used as a prop in a photo shoot. So I purposely had the model hold the gun in a way that I knew I would probably be able to find an element over in Adobe Stock. So with that said, let's go to Adobe Stock and take a look around and see what we have. Now, what you need to do is you can go a couple different ways here. You can open up your CC, your Creative Cloud interface, or you can just open up a browser and go to Adobe Stock that way. So I like to open up my little interface here, and I'm going to type in pistol, and you can, do more than one keyword if you want. You can do several keywords. I find one keyword helps to get me started. Now, the first thing you're going to see is, well, pistols came up, and here's one that I licensed for a previous image that I did, and it will tell me that it's licensed. But I know today this gun is not going to work. I need to have the right side. I need to have the ejection port here and everything like that. But let's take a look around here over in Adobe Stock while we're here. So you have to be logged in if you're going to purchase something. You don't have to be logged in to look around, but you have to be logged in. You have to have an Adobe ID and an Adobe account. And you can purchase images individually, or I have a subscription, and up here it tells you how many images you're available that you've essentially already purchased. I've already paid for these, and this is how many I have. So we can also go over here. I guess this is something that I use a lot, and I should talk about this, and that is the filter. So a lot of times I will want to exclude people. It also lets me choose an orientation. If I'm making a Valentine's Day card and I'm looking for hearts and roses, I might want everything that has an orientation like this. And you got subcategories, photos, illustrations, vectors, and price ranges, color. It essentially is a search filter. I think that's kind of straightforward, and most people know what a search filter is. And then up here at the top, you have images, videos, templates, 3D. There's many things more than just the photo of something. So if you scroll down, it only lets you scroll so far, and then you would go on to your next page. Very similar to, using Google or Bing search. No different there. But let's go ahead and click on like this particular image here. If I just roll over it, it will let me say, save preview to my library. Or if I want to license and save to my library. Like if I know that I want this without even opening it up, I can license it right now. But I'm not going to do that because I'm going to show you another way to license it that's a little more interesting and I think a little more realistic in the way that most people would use it. Now, here's one thing to note. If you click on the image and you bring the image up, they're not going to give you a real big preview to look at because I believe they're worried about screen capture and stuff like that. But if you notice, it does have a watermark right in the center of it. But this is the interesting part of this feature here. When you click it, now it gives you other previews of other similar, or it says more from this series. So obviously the photographer that was doing this series, he had a couple different guns, and he was, doing the right thing, shooting them in different angles, which is pretty much what you would want if you were trying to sell the stuff. And again, up here, you can save it to your library. You can, save the preview to your library, and it will tell you that it's saved. So pretty straightforward search page. I mean, you can add more than one keyword if you want, but it's pretty straightforward. And I think a lot of people know how to use a search page, but that's it. So now let's go back over here to Photoshop. Now there's two ways to get to your libraries. Okay, because remember, we saved it to my library. So I can get to my library over here on the Creative Cloud symbol. Now, depending on how you have your panel laid out, you know, your Creative Cloud symbol could be in a different area. But you can also go up here to Window and just go down to Libraries. There is no keyboard shortcut for it unless you assign your own custom. So I like to get to it from right over here. And if we open it up, we see, well, we look down here and normally they would be at the top, but I have actually already saved them a few days ago, and that's when I licensed this one. And then this was other stuff that I have saved and licensed since then. So the most recent stuff that you're working with that you saved will always be at the top. And it'll only let you see so much of what you have in your library. See here where it says show 179 remaining. If you click on that, it will then show you more stuff. Only again up to a certain point. And then you got to click on it some more to see the rest. So let's go back. Now, here's my gun. I'm looking at the right side of this gun. I'm pretty sure I can get this gun to work, and I'm going to double click on it to open it, and it's going to ask me, or at least the way I have my preferences set up, what color profile, and I'm just going to go with a small color group. So there's my image, and there it is with a watermark in it. Okay, so what this does is this lets me preview whether or not I can use this image. So if I hold the shift key down and then I left click and hold, I can bring this over into what I'm working on. And it brings it in as a smart object, which is kind of cool. And let's just size it down a little bit here. And let's spin it around. Well, let's leave it like this for now. Okay, so I'm going to come in. I'm just going to say, yeah, that's good enough for right now, because here's what I want to do to it. For this particular thing, now again, everything's a little different, but for this, I want to cut it off of the background that it's on, the white background. So I'm just going to take my selection tool. Okay, so I've made my selection, and I've pretty much got just a rough idea. Okay, so with a rough idea, I am now just going to mask that out by putting a mask on it. And now I just kind of have a rough idea of what I'm working with here. I still have my watermark in there. That's okay. So let's hit the move tool and let's spin this guy around. Let's bring him over here. And holding the shift key, I'm going to resize. And I'm going to do it a little bit rough and quick here. I'm not going to get super technical. I just want to see if, in fact, I can make this work. So I kind of want to, my main thing is I want to kind of position it in a way that I know I can. Okay, so let's just say that's it right there. And let's go ahead and apply that mask that we have. Well, we got to rasterize the layer. Okay, so what we want to do is we just want to do a real quick mock-up on our mask here. She's holding the gun in her hand. Okay, so now I've done a quick masking job here just to see how it's going to work. And I can see that I got a little bit of issue. I have the trigger from the other gun showing through over here. But this is all fixable stuff, and I can use this element pretty good. Matter of fact, it's a little too big, but I can still, size it down a little bit here. This isn't a problem. But I know that I can use this gun. So what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and I want to license this. So all I have to do to license it is right click on it and it will say license image. It takes a second too for the dialog box to come up. And it's going to ask me, license semi-auto pistol, you will use one of your 58 licenses. And I say, yes, I wanted to do that. Now, normally it would automatically cut the watermark out, but it didn't do that, and that's because we rasterized a layer here, and I was doing a lot of messing around with it. But if I go up here and just double click on, let's see where it went to the top, and if I double click on it, you can see I now have a nice gun without a watermark. So I will now proceed to go ahead and cut this one out in a more precise manner that I can move into that image. Okay, everybody, so that's an overview on Adobe Stock and how I use it for elements. Like I said, I also use it for backgrounds once in a while, but it works great when I just need something that I don't have and I need to go find it. There it is. I can license it and use it, adjust it the way I want it, cut it out, do whatever. Until next time, check me out on Instagram. I'm Lens Wizard on Instagram, Reckless Pixel on Facebook, or you can go to recklesspixel.com and check everything out there or go over to my blog. Okay, everybody, have a great day.